Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our channel. We are Millennial Mom. If you don't know who is who, I'm Millennial. This is Mom. Welcome, everyone. Okay. A happy holiday, whatever holiday you celebrate. And if you don't celebrate, well, happy every day. And I hope everyone had a good holiday. If you celebrated Thanksgiving, we had a great holiday out here. It was warm for us, but now it's getting back. Okay, the StreamYard application was thinking for a moment. So I don't know what's going on with that. But anyways, I'm here. And again, welcome. Before I begin, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe. Don't forget to share, add your comments, and hello to everyone in the replay gang. So welcome. And let me go to the comments and see who's on here today. Hello to everyone joining me. I'm also going to drop the invite button. If anyone wants to come on and share your thoughts with me, that's not in the comment with, face to face, or you could turn your camera off and just join me live if you choose to. If not, that's okay as well. I would like to say hello, Sharon. How you doing? And I'll give a few moments for people to join in. So if not, go ahead and watch it. Hopefully you're watching this on the replay. Again, we're going to talk about 90 Day, the single life. We're also going to talk about some reality shows as well, or people featuring reality shows, such as Portia getting married over the past weekend, and as well as the Soul Train Awards that is here in Las Vegas. It tapes here. It has for the last few years. I've gone, probably about maybe 5-6 years ago. Tapes here downtown. Looks like the group Escape received the Lady of Soul Award. So there's been some chit chat going on about that behind the scenes, with maybe possibly dissension in the group or something, or I don't know what's going on with that, but we'll talk about it a little bit after 90 Day, the single life, I should say. Hello to Universal Advocate. How are you today? And Miss Dolores, hello. Thank you for joining. Let me look at the time. Is that 2 minutes? Okay. So I'll wait like maybe another minute or so before we get started. How's everyone doing that's in the chat? How was your holiday? If you celebrated, did you cook? What's the weather like where you are? Here in Vegas, it is about, I'm going to say it's about 65 degrees today. Again, long sleeves. It'll be long sleeves till February. It's cold for us. It's just, I say November through February are our coldest months. So it's to be expected, right? So yes, we even have the heat on. So, but anyways, hopefully everyone is doing okay. So, all right, well, we'll go ahead and get started. Let me read some comments. Universal said, good, making more sweet potato pies. That's actually my favorite. Love sweet potato pie. Awesome. And Sharon says, maybe 50 in Ohio today. Okay, that's not bad. That's not too bad. You know what? When I was driving this morning, I was at a quick appointment, I noticed that our trees are finally turning for fall. I know some, trees everywhere else change and the leaves are falling, elsewhere, but here they're turning orange and the reds. I was like, oh, that is so nice. I almost took a picture. When I go out again, maybe I'll take a picture of the trees. I just like to see the change of weather and how the nature does. So that's what I like. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Excuse me. So 90 Day, the single life. So it's reunion part 1. There's going to be a 3-part reunion. And is it just me, or can they really wrap up the reunion maybe like in 2 parts? Like, since the show is technically 2 hours anyways, like a reunion that's an hour and a half, part 1, and then an hour and a half, part 2, and just be done with it. But the 90 Day franchise seems to stretch it out so long that once you come off a reunion, you're already to another, like 90 Day the other way, or 90 Day this way, that way, whatever they're called. So they have a lot going on with that franchise. And you know what? It's successful because a lot of people tend to watch. So at the reunion, it is Veronica, Natalie, Tiffany, Debbie, Caesar, and Tanya. are there to discuss this season. Oh, it's 52 in DC. Oh, that's not too bad. Between Ohio and DC, I guess a 2-degree difference. But is that warm for you guys? 52? That sounds warmish for the East Coast. Am I wrong? So, would you say, Sharon, 2 tell-all is enough? Yes, 2 tell-all is enough. So let's just catch up on them. So Tanya says that she's been traveling and busy and hasn't spoken to Cinch in about a year, and they really don't talk. Caesar is dressed up. I'm liking him better dressed up. This is the best I've seen him look in a while. He says he's broken up with the lady that was originally on the 90 Day, that he went to see in Ukraine, and he's with someone else new in his life. And who else didn't we really talk to today? And then Debbie has moved to Canada to be with her man. So let's just get started. We'll get started with Veronica first. So Veronica is hinting at a new man in her life. Of course, she has Tim sitting by her side. Now, is it me, or does Tim and Veronica seem to have a relationship where the lines are blurred? Because, you know, they used to date before. I want to say they were maybe even engaged before. I'm not sure. But I think so. And I think that, I don't know, I think they have some type of soul tie going on. I really think they're closer than what they're making out to be. Because Tim has a problem with Veronica dating. You know, he's saying, yes, he wants her to go out and explore. But at the same time, when she did meet up with Justin and whoever else is new in her life, I guess we'll find out in either part 2 or part 3, he seems to have a problem with it, you know, calling him like, well, Justin, like, you know, maybe he was just there for the sex with Veronica or just didn't have her best intentions. So then they bring on Justin, and Justin shades Tim, because clearly Justin could hear what was going on in the background. And so he makes subtle shade and, you know, talk about Tim's pants. And Tim did, you know, he had on his pants, but Tim comes across, you know, Tim has metrosexual energy anyway. So Tim, that just rolled off Tim's back as far as it seemed like to be. But Justin said that he had good intentions with Veronica this whole time. And Veronica didn't seem like he did because, you know, he wanted to go back to Florida with his ex and everything like that. And Veronica just didn't seem like he was here for her because she got the message of that after they were intimate. So you guys hold on just one moment. Let me grab some water. Hold on a second. Hold on, please. All right, sorry about that. Normally I have my water bottle next to me, but didn't have it with me this time. Sharon says, Veronica and Tim, I think they saw something because he has helped her with the daughter all these years. I think so too. I also read too, maybe like a week or 2 ago, that they said they had a marriage pact where if they weren't married by a certain time period in their life, that they would get married. And then Veronica says that Tim keeps moving the date, well, the year, you know. She said, well, she's almost 40 now. So maybe they had a relationship where it was, okay, when you're 30 and now 35. But so now she's pushing 40. She's like, so now it's 50. So he keeps moving the date. But bottom line is, Veronica felt like Justin wasn't there for her this whole time. She wasn't willing to move to Florida. She thinks there's more going on with his ex than he's saying to her. So I don't know. I think Veronica and Tim, because I think they blurred the lines. Do you all think that maybe they ought to give it another try? You know, because Tim was on this show many times, twice, I think, with his relationship with women in Colombia and somewhere else. And then now it's Veronica's turn on here. So maybe they ought to give it a try. Again, I don't know. I'm just saying. So what'd you say, Sharon? Justin was playing games. He knew he had plans, but Florida before he got to Veronica. Yes. And Dolores says, I agree with you, Sharon. regarding Veronica and Tim. Okay. Yep. I'm taking a sip of water real quick. Mm-mm. Okay. So that was really about it with them. Veronica's teasing that she has another man. So I guess we'll see next week in the relationship. So let's move to Natalie. So I don't know. Natalie, she don't come across as being too truthful, if you ask me. Natalie seems like, now, if anyone seems like they're playing games, it seems like it's Natalie. So she goes from Josh to Florida, but then Mike helped her get her mom. Mike, yeah, helped her get her mom back over. Or did he do it on his own? Either way. And so she goes to Squim and she's telling Mike that I want to be with you. But at the same time, before she even gets there, she's in the car talking to Justin, asking, saying stuff like, yeah, entertain the phone call before she even pulls up to Mike's house. So I agree with Mike's mom. I think Mike needs to move on because Natalie came out and she to Squim and, she's trying to tell Mike, I want to be with you. And this whole time she doesn't. So at the reunion, I just thought it was interesting that before she came on the stage with the cast members backstage, when she was told that Mike and Josh would both be there, she was like, oh, I think that's good. They can both fight for me. And I'm thinking, no, that's not necessarily a good thing, Natalie. But I think she likes that kind of drama. I don't know if she's really ready to settle down or not. And I just think that she wants to be here, meaning here in the United States. She wants to do a modeling career. I just think that she wants to go to the next good man that she feels that she can find. And I don't think it's Mike. I think it's Mike out of maybe obligation and maybe Justin in a way, because Justin lives in LA and maybe she's never been to LA and maybe she's trying to make it big in California. So I don't know. Natalie just doesn't give the best answers to me. She just really comes across like she's really doing something shady. And so then when we see Justin come on the stage at the reunion, at first I was thinking, oh, he's just talking. He don't really want to be there for Natalie. He's like, she needs to figure it out. And true, Natalie does need to figure out her life and what's going on. But then he gave a comment where he's saying, well, Natalie was messaging my employees on Instagram and just doing all this other stuff. And just the way that he was talking, I was thinking, well, how did she get a chance to message your people on Instagram? And then Natalie was saying how, no, because you got me drunk and stuff like that. And so Natalie couldn't take the heat. So she got out and left, right? And so he was talking, trying to give his side of the story. And it just turns out that whatever happened, he went on a date and one of his workers got on Instagram and was talking smack about Natalie, and Natalie happened to find out. And so that's how Natalie messaged him. But the thing for me with Josh, I was like, if I said, excuse me, but the thing for me with Josh is that, okay, so he only sees Natalie at a hotel. He doesn't see Natalie at his house. And so even like the cast member, Debbie, and other people were talking like, how come she only goes to, you meet her at a hotel? And he couldn't really give the best answer for that, So I was thinking that really does sound suspicious because usually, well, so I've heard, if someone, you can't go to their house after you've been dating for a while, that's a red flag. Like, are you living with someone else or what is really going on with that relationship? Universal said she's a runner like Alexis. Yes, but more than Alexis. I think she's like 1,000 times more than Alexis personally. Sharon says, why haven't seen divorce Michael? She when Josh wants license so bad. No, because I think that if she does, when you get married with the green card status, you have to be married for a certain amount of time. And if you file for divorce, then, your green card status could possibly be in jeopardy. So maybe that's one reason why she don't want to. But I thought in the series before she went to single life, Mike had said that he was filing for divorce anyways, and that's what got her to the point to go to Florida somehow. So I don't know. There's something going on with Natalie. I know that she wants to stay in the United States, but Remember, she went to Mike's in the last episode to, if you saw it, to get her paperwork. So my thing is like, why would you leave your paperwork at Mike's? If you're going to leave, the most that you can do, if you're not originally from here, is take your documentation so you can prove who you are and that your status here. But I don't know, maybe there's always an ulterior motive. So especially with Natalie, she's always come across shady with me, even from the very first episode when I saw Natalie. Let me read your comments. Sorry, but I wouldn't let Natalie come to my house either. People are very loco. That's true, but think about this, Universal. I mean, if they've been together, I think they said 2 years. But when's the cutoff for you not to let someone come to your house, though? You know? So 2 years would be like, I don't know. I think by then you ought to know. So I still think there's something else going on there. And then Sharon says, oh, okay, her green card status would be in jeopardy. Yeah, it would be in jeopardy. Anyone on these shows, like even all the 90-day franchises, it would be in jeopardy once you get married. You have to be married for a certain amount of years or they'll pull it thinking it was a scam or something like that. So that's that. So next week, I guess maybe Mike will be out on the show, giving his opinion. And then there's Tiffany. You know what? I really thought Tiffany, but then again, towards the end of the show, she kind of did. What I was going to say is I thought Tiffany was smarter than that, but she proved like towards the end, maybe she was just a little smarter at the end. Hi, Ashley. How are you? So Tiffany said she ended up spending 4 months in South Africa. Now, when she went to go take her daughter to see her dad, Ronald, and left her son behind, I would have guessed maybe, to get the most out of your money, your trip and everything else, to spend some time. I would have figured like maybe a month, but 4 months. So she was really trying to get that relationship on the right track. But I'm thinking, but that's a long time to be away from your son, who's thinking probably mom's going to have a turnaround trip. So I wonder how she explained that to Daniel. Well, Tiffany and Ronald also have a complicated relationship, or is it more complicated when it comes to Tiffany? Because Ronald, even in the scenes we saw going forward, Ronald, to me, in my opinion, has always come across as a little hot-headed, a little, don't know how to keep his emotions in check. He goes to get mad from 0 to 100. So Tiffany said that it was Ronald's idea to have a girlfriend or date outside the relationship. So she thought she was going to save it. So when she got to South Africa, things within 3 days went left. She said she found out that he was still talking to the girlfriend, whether she's an ex or not, and still getting money. Now, I wonder if Ronald's girlfriend is in the States too, or somewhere else, or you know what I'm saying? Like, is it another relationship as far as like the 90-day franchise goes? So because there's a few people on the series, on the franchise that's done that. For example, Kimberly and Soulja Boy, they came from smashing someone else and DMing or whatever the case may be. So, but Tiffany seemed like she was in a place to work on things, but when she got there, again, things changed because of the information that she found out. And she said it just totally messed things up. But I'm thinking, if you found out 3 days after you got there, why did it take you 4 months? Because if your trust was broken, does it take an additional 4 months? Yes. She said she had an open-ended ticket and she wanted her daughter to, be with her dad. But wow, an additional 4 months, that's a long time to, go back and forth with someone who doesn't necessarily seem that he had your best interest at heart. Yes, Sharon, he does seem abusive and controlling. And so Tiffany goes on to put it out there that Ronald he was battling gambling issues when we first met them on the franchise, that he took $250 from her debit card. Like I said, he was still talking to another woman giving him money. And he thinks that she's soft and meek, but it's going to end today. And then Ronald told her to stop the lies, stop the BS. And then we see him kicking the TV screen and it goes blank. And all the cast members, and especially Sean, was like, wow. So yeah, that's going to be something else if he comes back to defend his stance, because Tiffany seemed like this is it, the end. So whatever happens with them, all of them, no matter what we learn on reunion or not, I wish the best to all of them. But next week episode, it looks like Caesar has some bombshells to drop. Caesar talking about he's dating maybe 2 women that he's going to have in his home. So I guess he's gonna have like a sister wives arrangement kind of thing with Caesar. I said, okay, Caesar. But I thought that was only accepted. Well, I'm not even gonna say that. I'm not even gonna say that. But okay, we'll see if that works. Now I wonder if these women are also European women, because he tends to like women from a certain region to come over with that. So okay. And then Debbie is going to be on with Clint, and Clint has just seemed like, since he's left the franchise with Larissa and now with Veronica, the way he's talking to his mom, very, very disrespectful. I mean, he's blaming Debbie for every little thing. I believe he was said, I haven't even called you mom in 10 years. I mean, whatever's gone on behind the scenes, it seems like that Clint is blaming Debbie for whatever has happened throughout his adult life, and he can't seem to have moved on and moved forward with. So I don't know. I didn't like that with Clint, because he was getting loud and angry as if Debbie was a stranger or something off the bottom of his shoe. And I just really didn't appreciate that. So I'll be ready for the drag next week for Clint for that one, or whatever day he comes on, be ready for the drag with that, because that is unacceptable, in my opinion. And then we see Tanya for next week also. She's talking about she's dating women, and she's ready to, get into a different type of relationship outside of men. So we'll see how that goes. But to me, Tanya has always been someone who's more fluid with her relationships. Even when I first saw her with Sinjin, she gave me that impression when I first saw her. So I'm not surprised at that. And whoever you love is whoever you love. So go from there. Let me read some comments. We'll start with Ashley. Ashley says Ronald is a user. I agree. And then Dolores says, Tiffany seems immature. How do you leave your son for 4 months for a man that hasn't treated you well? You know what, Sharon? I mean, that's a good impression. I do see Tiffany as immature as well. But at the same time, when she said soft, I saw her point when she was getting upset and trying to, get her esteem about her. Like, he's not going to talk to me this way anymore and everything like that. But when it comes to following a man, I can see where the immature thing comes about. That's a good analogy. That helps me reel it back in for that. And I would never leave my children for 4 months, especially that young, going over there to try to fix a relationship. Oh man, but everyone's has different thoughts and different reasonings. Dolores says, once I found out that Ronald took money from my credit card, that would have been it. But you know what, Dolores? When Tiffany was there the first time, when her daughter was an infant, he was doing it then. So I don't know. Tiffany she is one to fall for word. So I think Ronald knows that he can sweet talk her and she'll be back, falling for him word for, whatever he's got to say, however you want to put it. Sharon says, Debbie was a bit vocal this episode about the other couples. Yes, she was. Yes. I actually thought that was funny. She had a lot to say, but you know what? Again, with that cult, Hearn cult, yeah, next week or whatever it is when they come on, the drag is coming. That is so, oh my gosh, disrespectful with your adult son, daughter, anybody to do that. That's ridiculous. So, Universal says Caesar having a Justin moment. I don't listen, Universal. I don't know what you call it, but I'm not buying it. I didn't buy it with Justin, and I'm definitely not buying it with Caesar. So Sharon says Clint definitely was disrespectful to Debbie, but she's allowed his behavior, enabled his behavior. Yeah, I think so. Maybe when it came to his girlfriends, things like that. But at the same time, does that give you the right to like talk to your mother as if she's on a level of your girlfriend? So that's a hard pill to swallow right there. Okay, Dolores says, Cole's a grand man. Why is he so disrespectful to Debbie? I don't know. I have no idea. We're going to find out, though, and I'm going to be here for that drag because I cannot. I can't. I can't even imagine. All right, so that was really about it with the reunion part one, they spent a lot of time talking beforehand. So before till we really got the scenes, and I really think the juicier scenes are the ones that we haven't seen yet with Debbie and Clint, and a little bit more with Tanya, and also honestly Caesar too. I would like to know who is going to be his sister wife. So that's what I want to know. But anyways, let's move on to. Did anyone see anything about the Soul Train Awards and or Portia getting married again? What'd you say, Dolores? Caesar is boring, but since he's called out that he had maybe two women waiting on him, okay, so this how you know he's gonna go to the next 90-day single life to keep him relevant. So we'll see about that. But anyways, going on to Portia Williams getting married again and the Soul Train Awards. Did anyone see those or hear about the next topics? So you know what? Let's go ahead and start about the Soul Train Awards with Escape. Now, Escape, I'm a little older than Escape, but I still grew up, well, in my early adulthood with their music. They accepted the Soul Train Awards. It was actually taped 2 weeks in advance, but it was showed last weekend. It's taped here in Las Vegas, and they accepted award for the Lady of Soul Awards. And in the group, Escape is made up of Candy Burris, Tamika Tiny Harris, Latasha Scott, and Tamika Scott, who are sisters. They're known for their most popular songs as Just Kicking It and Understanding. Now, there's been some buzz around the group with possible tension. And you know what? It seems like with any group, no matter what genre, seems like sometimes some groups, either when someone wants to go solo or have different projects, it seems to be a type of dissension in the group for some reason. And sometimes groups don't necessarily get back together because who knows what goes on behind the scenes, whether it be jealousy, envy, or whatever the case may be. And that seems like that's what's going on with Escape. Now, it started off with them, I should have had the picture up, but it was on the feed. They took pictures, and all the ladies except Latasha had on like white or champagne gowns, and Latasha had on a green gown. And it was saying like, oh, so, she has her own, a different stylist. She's got different management. And it just came across like there was already like tension there. That's really because, like I said, they've been around since the 90s, and to receive an award, prestigious award, the Lady of Soul Award, it just comes across again like, even though different members like Candy has done different spinoffs of reality shows and different business ventures, and Tiny has had her own reality shows with her husband and her family, different little things like that. But sisters Latasha and Tika, I know they've done different plays, and I think one even has a vegetarian cookbook and things like that. So you really don't know what is going on behind the scenes. But what made out after the fact was that there was a lot of finger pointing and a lot of kind of like subtle shade happening, because during the acceptance speech, and Tiny, T.I.'s wife, went to give her speech. She went to thank her girls, and to thank her girls, she turned her back to where Latasha was standing, and she pointed to Candy and Tamika to thank her girls for being there. I don't know the specifics of the speech, but things like that. So that was a little bit of subtle shade. And then you have Latasha, when she gave her speech, it was to something the fact of, when you're down, you bring people up when you're in a group, kind of like, don't leave us behind kind of thing. So there's a little bit of shade mixed going in with each other. And I just think that's really unfortunate, because there's been too many groups that have broken up behind whatever's going behind the scenes. And also too, how many groups of women who are Black are still together and thriving, So I really hope whatever is going on, they could come around and get it together. I also saw that there were dates booked with Escape featuring Candy, Tiny, and Mika, but she's not going to be part of the Escape group reunion tour, or maybe it's not even a tour, just select dates that they're doing. And what I read was there was a clip that came out and it said something to the fact that it was by Tamika Latasha's sister. She wanted to say that my talented sister stepped back months ago to work on her solo career. She's booked until next year. Her manager said they will let us know when she will be available to do shows. Again, thank you for supporting us as Escape and individually. So I think that was like an olive branch, in my opinion, to show that, or at least to the public, that they're still together as a group, and it's not that Latasha has been excluded, but that she has other things in the works, and she can't get out of her deals, whatever she's got going on the side, individually. But when she's able to, maybe she's Tamika's insinuating they'll come together as the group itself. And then also too, a few days after the Escape, what was going on with the Lady of Soul Awards at the Soul Train, there's been grumblings that allegedly Latasha Scott, the one who the other group members seem to, have something going on with, allegedly that her husband has a mistress and the mistress has turned out pregnant. And I'm like, see, the timing of the information with the awards and possibly not getting along with the group members and subtle shade being back and forth, and now an alleged baby on the way, that's not necessarily a good look. But either way, I wish them both on the best and going forward, because I enjoyed Escape. So maybe, you never know, they may come out to Vegas for a residency or just go back on tour to, since they won that award, show everybody who they are and their longevity in the business and go from there. So does anyone know about that too? The Escape drama that's going on and the alleged mistress? Any of y'all heard about that? Before I move on to Portia and Simon, read your comment, Sharon. Unfortunately, the talented ladies can't get along. Yeah, it just seems like that's the way it goes with a lot of groups, not just this group. But, I really hate to see that with groups in general, but just groups that have been together as long as they have. There's room for everybody in the industry, and even on something simple as YouTube. There's room for everyone to carve their niche. But Escape has been around for a long time, and, it's just really sad to see, because there's not a lot of representation, especially for the younger generation, to see a, vocal group of Black women to come together and things like that. So, hey, Kirby, how you doing today? And then Universal says she heard about it. Okay. All right. So let's just move to Portia Williams getting married. And then Sharon says, you're over Portia and Simon? Okay. A lot of people definitely are. Universal says what you say. I tried to watch a reality show when they were going on tour, but it's too much drama. And you know what, Universal, I actually heard they were thinking of talking about another show, not another show, kind of like a movie to get it out themselves, like kind of like, what's it going to be called? Like the Escape story, like the Michael Jackson story, or the Temptation story, or the New Edition story. They're going to do something like that. I heard it's in the works, but I actually heard about that a while ago. So if they get a chance to do it, to tell their own story, that would be awesome, I guess. So Portia Williams has married Simon, and I cannot pronounce his last name. By the time I come back on again, maybe I'll give it a try. I read that she had up to five gown changes. I saw the gown. It's exclusive with People magazine. If y'all seen it online, or maybe in the stores, we get magazines or publications like that. I saw her with the red dress. I thought that was very pretty. Then I saw her in a looked like a Cinderella ball gown that she had on. I didn't see the other three, so I guess that's maybe exclusive for the magazine. So maybe when I go through a checkout, I'll read through it and see if I can see it and let you know, unless they release it first before I come back on. I think that's good for her. This is her second marriage. She says this is it for her. She says they're soulmates, so this is their last marriages. I'm pretty positive this is Simon's second, I want to say third marriage. I know he was married to Thalen, who was on the Atlanta Housewives with Portia. And I know he was with someone before he has children with. So I'm not, so they're now a blended family. But what do you think about, and Sharon, yes, I know you're over Portia and Simon, but what do you think about Portia getting engaged and then married to Simon when she was just recently a cast member with Phelan? Now, do you think that there's rumblings that maybe they were talking, Portia and Simon talking on the low before everything was out there? Or do you think that maybe they really did wait? Because the timing, again, everything comes down to timing, right? And how you receive things. The timing of the engagement to the divorce or separation is suspect, because how do you go from your wife to being married to the cast member in a month's time or whatever the case? So yeah, that's suspicious. You think it'll last a year? Yeah. Do you think that she's gonna have a baby? Do you think that's what Portia is gonna do next, to have a baby too, as the term these days that people are using, to secure the bag? So I don't know. I think that's interesting. But I don't know. I also heard that there was a star-studded guest list. I heard that, speaking of, Escape Candy was there, and Candy and Nene didn't necessarily get along, and I heard that Candy, from her own words, because Candy also has a show on YouTube or something like that. I've heard it, that her and Nene actually got along. They spoke and said hello, and they actually shook hands. So I guess that was good. But give it a year. You know what? I don't like putting timelines on things, but sometimes, what's also the catchphrase? You get them how you lose them, or you lose them how you get them, or however the case may be. So we'll see. But I know that Phelan has also gone on to be in another relationship and actually have had a baby girl by that relationship not so long ago. So she seems to be doing okay. And yeah, so they had two weddings. They had a traditional Nigerian wedding, Portia and Simon, and then they had a traditional wedding in a church, where Portia said that she's never been married in a church before, and that's okay. So we'll see. We'll see how long that is going to last. Sharon says, I love Portia. She's gorgeous. It was just too much drama with both Portia and now the ex-wife on the same show. Yes, with Phelan. Yes, it was. And then, hey, Devontae, how are you doing? And then Ashley said she's going to have a baby. Yeah, she probably will have a baby. Like I said, what's the term? To secure the bag. So more than likely. Yeah, but I didn't look it up in time, but did Phelan, Simon's ex-wife, didn't they also have a baby? Or no, they didn't have a baby yet. But I think Portia's gonna have one. I think she's gonna have one really soon. And I think she's nice looking too. And I think, again, there were just some things going on that maybe wasn't necessarily, in my opinion, the timeline wasn't exactly on that up and up. But however it goes, she's married now. She has the man. She's got her daughter. She got a blended family, and we'll see how they come together. And that's pretty much that. The other topic going on, I didn't put anything out about it because I don't know if I want to talk about it because there's a lot of issues behind that. Anyone heard about the Shanquella Robinson thing? The young lady who was taken out to Mexico with her friends, and they did something to her. She's no longer saying. Now I heard that there were arrest warrants for a friend, or maybe the whole group. They want to maybe extradite them back to Mexico and go from there. Did anyone else hear about that? Oh, that's nice of you. Everyone's saying hello to Devontae. That's very nice. So is anyone up to date on the Shanquella Robinson case and her family? Like I said, I didn't put it in the thumbnail to talk about it, but I think that's also a sad story about people who you think are your friends. And in a way, you go on a trip, and to say whether that was a setup or not, it reads like it was a setup, and it was unfortunate that the young lady lost her life because of whatever was going on behind the scenes. I can't imagine, because y'all know millennial. She's in the same age group. She's 26, and I can't even imagine. Now, I know, when you're a certain age, you have to let your children go, let them do what they're going to do. But at the same time, everyone isn't necessarily, unfortunately, people learn this even at my tender age. You don't necessarily know that people who are there for you unless something happens or something happens within the group. But as time goes on, you mature, you're able to see maybe who is and who isn't. But it really, really is a sad story. And I feel for her parents. I can't imagine the grief and the heartbreak from people who you thought were your daughter's friends, who even came, spent time with you for the holidays. That's what the family said, and even came back to tell you a different story than what's coming out now, whether it be alcohol poisoning from what they came to tell you, knowing that it wasn't necessarily the truth, to know that they did something or allegedly did something to the daughter to get her to the point where she's no longer with us. And yeah, it's very, very sad. Sharon says no update to the story. Sad nonetheless. Yes, it's very sad. TMZ does stories. I saw a story about it on Newsweek yesterday. A lot of newspapers have picked it up, national newspapers, and a lot of TV stations have picked it up too, national, behind the story as well. Universal says, I hope they're all found guilty and serve their time in Mexico for life. Yeah. Sharon says, everybody's not your friends. Exactly. Dolores says, Kay, what do you really think about Shanquilla case? I think the entire story has not been told. No, I don't think the entire story hasn't been told either. And I know about it as much as anyone else has read up about it. They went to Mexico. It was someone's birthday, some kind of way. They had a fight. Things went awry. She lost her life. It's really hard to give my opinion because, like I said, all the facts hasn't been out on the case. But what I will say for me, if you were in the room, whether you were filming, whether you were in the room watching, not helping, because there's clips of the young lady saying, she didn't want to fight. That, to me, that's guilty by association. And I just feel for the family. They said that some of the family members knew her friends who would come over for holidays or get-togethers or whatever the case may be. And then, so yeah, it's really hard to talk about till the facts of the case came out. But for the surface level, that's what I think of. And I just can't even imagine my son or my daughter, who are this age and a little older, to be in that situation. So, but anyways, but again, that was really about it, you guys. So when there's more information about Shanquilla, I have to do more research based instead of off of what I'm hearing or just reading. I just, need to get more facts of the case before I can talk about it. And then we will on the show as it goes along. So, but all right, you all. So that was really it about 90 Day Fiance. Part one wasn't that much to talk about. It was just really surface level for right now. And then Portia, hey, she got married. If she likes it, I love it. Best of luck to them. And Ashley said lasts a year. So I guess maybe we'll keep track on that to see how long it lasts. And if she has a baby. Escape, I hope they get past their issues and go do what they need to do, have their concerts, their tours, and whatever the case may be, and go from there. Let me read some more comments. Universal says they stole money she paid for the trip. Most trip allegedly. Got that too, and a lot of allegeds going on with paying for the trip and who have also got money in Mexico and this and that. So there's a lot that we still don't know about it. So as more details come about and there's more confirmed news, and we can talk about instead of just throwing out things that may not be untrue. So, but all right, you all. So, well, that's it next week. But again, I'm doing Love After Lockup that comes out on Fridays. The review been out on Saturday. There is another show. What did it say? Love and Lies. Something that you all suggested. I'll put in the community tab to let you know what that is, because it's a show that I'm definitely going to watch and review. Married at First Sight is coming out in January, so as soon as they do the trailers and get that up, we'll have reviews about that and go from there. And also, again, if you all have any shows, let us know. We'll be doing different lives, whether it be during the day, weekdays and moms, or just maybe a little bit in the evening time, just to stay in touch with everybody and talk about hot topics and different shows that come about, and just to stay relevant until Married at First Sight comes along and Love After Lockup and any other shows like that. So I appreciate you all in the comments, in the chats, and joining me each and every time. Oh, let me read your comment. Any shows on Netflix? I do watch random shows on Netflix, Universal. Is there anything that you would suggest us to watch and review? Go ahead and drop it in the box. We'll be happy to do that for you and review it for everybody. So yes. And then that's it, everyone. I appreciate you all so much. Everyone in the chat, Universal, Dolores, Devante, Sharon, Kirby, Ashley, and anyone else I forgot, and everyone else on the replay. Thank you all again so much for watching. And I will put up when I'm going to go live again. I have treatment this week, you guys, so I may not be able to go on Thursday, but I'm doing well. Still right now, no evidence of disease. The tumor is turned off, but I'm still have to do continuing therapy and everything like that. So thank you all for the support. We appreciate each and every one of you. And good night, everyone. And until next time, live simply, be grateful. Take care, everyone. Good night.